So hello and good afternoon. We are going to analyze what had happened in the last Friday and what are the views for the next following days. As of now, we have market data for from Monday, October 13. And having said that, let's focus on the charts. First, on the indication of the daily from last week. Then, with the chart in front of us, with market internals, and we diving in some of the sectors and some specific stocks and how it behaves, the news from Trump tariffs last Friday. Let me remove a few cameras. Here we go. The first thing we can see is clearly that there was selling pressure that started Thursday and very aggressive below this level on Friday. The tick was not as negative as expected. It is true that it ranged in this lower area from 10 to about 2, but we also saw prints to the upside. The advance and decliners clearly down for the first 2 hours, and then a little bit of consolidation throughout the rest of the day. The S&P had a very strong negative candle in 1 hour, and then continuation throughout the rest of the day. These are very sellers were in control, no doubt about it, and it did not start at the news, started from the open. So here we can see how the sectors ended, and here the change of the last 5 business days. We'll see the data from the net opened and in about an hour. If we go to the page from the daily routine, let me make this a little bigger. We open every single chart here. Let me see if let me do this. I'm not sure if I close any. We clearly can see the Dow Jones, the S&P 500 drop here. Consolidation from China and consolidation from Japan. A little bit from the Eurozone here, right? Okay, this is the chart where we're going to spend a little bit of time. In one day, we have erased all the way from the Fed day. Every single print, every single high. And this is an opportunity. As we were talking about last week, there is new buying opportunities because this we have two ways: consolidation after this, and then we can say trading, oops, trading higher, and then falling and going down, right? That's one way. The other way is trading higher, consolidation, and pushing higher, range and down, or range and down. So now we have more ways that we can think out of this market. The market had opened to be a two sides market. Month to date, as of the close of Friday, we are negative. In the year, we're still strong. And the quarter is the same thing that in the month. The quarterly candle now doesn't look as strong. The weekly candle, it has removed all this space. Nothing to be overly concerned yet. Why? We are still in an uptrend. Nothing has really changed. A new high, low, new high, higher low, new high, higher low, higher low, almost retest of that low, and now a perfect retest of this low. Right? Can we set up a new position here if we don't take these highs to look for higher lows, for lower lows? Yes. And this is what the bears need to show us. If the bears are going to be in control, this is what we want to see, right? A higher low, not able to take all-time highs and then push it lower. That is the daily candle. Volatility, it was more than I expected in the daily percentage. You can see the S&P 500 trading 2.3. It was we have 2.3 in the quarter, but around that, it was 2.5, 2.6. Not near what we experienced in March, and similar to what we experienced in April. Nasdaq, it was stronger. Remember, still stronger. We are about 15% year to date. This candle, those did not take this area, right? So still some way here. There has been a little bit of retracement on gold and oil gap down, close low. I think as of now is trading a little near 60. No major change in these indexes. And here, Bitcoin had a very negative movement last week. A lot of accounts were liquidated. And there's still 11% as of the close of Friday, right? It's still 11% in the last 14 days. Nikkei, very strong. Dollar, Japanese yen, strong in the last 15 days. Here we can see the weakness on the real estate and the Japanese yen as well. In the last 30 days, if we have to highlight big movements to the upside is here. Nikkei, gold and silver, together with the emerging market. So in the last 30 days, emerging market is positive. This can be a new change in tonality going lower if the bears take control. But so far, there is no indication that they have done so. There is a possibility that this value is near zero in a few weeks if we trade lower, maybe in a few days. But so far, they don't have the upper hand. Let me go to the data on the market internals. Right here, go to XPX. Go to SPY. So there was, let me change this to, we'll come back to the VIX later. See time frames. We open. So here we have the three levels of reference for buying opportunities. It clearly went through all of them and touched the lower level I had. Let me highlight, duplicate drawing. Let me put this as a possible new level. And if we add data for extended hours, we can see what had happened. The market is not open yet. It's about 40 minutes to open. We are trading inside of yesterday's range. We gave back about 50% of the move of the last Friday move. And this is why I'm saying this is not bad for the bears, because now we have two-way market, two-side markets. Here we have the option for the bulls to take control and push to the all-time highs, and from there go higher. We have the bears holding this area, and from here pushing, but most likely would be something like this: pushing, consolidation, and lower, where to this area here. The other way can be push lower, back and down, right? To where? To the same area, these lower lows. This, of course, will take a few trading days to happen, but the most likely scenario that I see is consolidation in this area. Oops, sorry, let me move. Consolidation between these two zones, and then whatever it breaks first will take control. If we break here, it will take control. If we break to the downside, it will take control. Hoping for a continuation of that move. It can be that we just break and then fell, and in the hourly candles, we will know that. If we go to the VIX, we can see that the VIX traded higher to about 21. Let me see, the high is 22.44. This is 21 is my level where say, okay, things are going to get moving faster. And so far we're trading below that level. We can see, let's see if today the bears taking control, but I don't see it clearly gap down and go like we had the view on Friday, where everything were very negative. The sellers were in control and close at the low of the day. If we maximize this and we put this chart in a weekly data, let me show you how the market can change trend on weekly candles. This candle, right, can resemble this, but it was finally a close to double top here that pushed the market lower. So it did not do it in the first attempt. We want to see if this continue here, it fell, and then to trade lower. So we will have one top and then lower high and then continuation. If we don't, I don't think the bears will be in control, right? So this is just one weekly candle that was negative, closing at the base, erasing 3 weeks of gain, but nothing more than that, right? The next support in the S&P 500 should be this area here, right? And here I would say yes, the bears have in control, and we can look for lower pressure, looking for this area. Remember that if we are not seeing a capitulation like we saw at the end of March, okay, today we're going to open with an inside day inside of these large weekly candles that we experience, but nothing more than that. So if we go to the SPY and we add extended hours, we can see this is the large range from the week, right? And today, at the moment, we are going to open inside of this box, most likely, which is inside of just of the last week range, like we can see in this chart here, right? So we will be trading inside of this weekly candle, right? So we'll be trading inside of this weekly candle. If we stay inside of this weekly candle the entire day, I would say the sellers are not in control, and they were the seller that aggressively sold last Friday would consider if they made a mistake, right? Because at the moment, most of the sellers that closed or they opened new positions around this level are in pain. Are they going to be forced to close? Maybe. We don't know that for sure. But we know if the people that short here, they're going to be feeling the pain. Probably that's why all of this whipsaw here and closing the shorts, right? And because of the news, what the news said. If we focus on the news, we open a new tab here. Close in this 1 second. I'm just preparing the new page. We have JP Morgan. This is very important. Positive. Trump tariffs. How the United States is hitting Trump's tariff. If you want more insight into this news, just tell me. I can easily give you a way to read this. All right. If we go, here's the plan from JP Morgan. No major news. If we go to the front page, this is not market moving event. Nothing that will change the market tonality. Last week, we were looking for a catalyst, and we got it. Now it's two-side markets where bears have the opportunity to take shorts if the market provides a good and proper risk reward, which for the last few days, the market in the S&P 500 and Nasdaq did not provide an attractive risk to reward if you were not looking for the upside. So this is the trade on, this is the news on oil, and we can focus here. On crude. So here we have the gap down crude closing down. As of now, it's trading higher. It's going to open. It's 59.6, 59.6, right? So nothing here until we see a break to the upside or a continuation to the downside. A break, above this high, the candle of this high, which is a retest of this low, right? In gold, we have a very strong, again, level gapping up and trading higher. All-time highs again, 4,105. And Bitcoin, it did not recover as much as, actually it's trading lower than the S&P and Nasdaq. We saw huge liquidations on social media of wallets. This might have an impact on the health and leverage of the systems, right? With that, I conclude, and your feedback is appreciated. This is my view. As last video mentioned that we were going to stay in the sidelines for Friday. The selling pressure pushed me to hedge some of the equity exposure, and now I will analyze if that hedge is valuable, thinking of in a longer term hedge, or the bears are losing control and new hires are likely to approach before continuation to the downside. So thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.